How's it, everybody? This is part two of my brother passing. Um, I couldn't remake that other one because I don't think I could get through that again. Um, but I really feel like that needed to be said. So this part two, uh, I think this is a better. I think this one is more. Um, I don't know if you want to call this a ghost story. Uh, I guess it's a ghost story since all the spirits that have come have passed away. So I guess that makes it all a big, huge ghost story. Um, so, so again, this is the second part about my brother, and so he was the last of my immediate family. It was just my mom and dad and Michael and I, and my mom and dad passed away, and they each had one brother, and I had one first cousin, and they passed away, and of course my grandparents and great-grandparents. So everybody from my immediate family passed. Michael was the last. And, my family now, I have an amazing family. I have a wonderful husband and children and grandchildren, and we're close and we love each other. And I'm very blessed. I know how blessed I am. And I was born into a family that loved each other. And just like us, we told each other we loved each other, and we missed each other and things like that. So there was always love. And even though I knew Michael was passing, I knew it was coming. Even before he actually got hospitalized, I knew it was coming. And but I felt just alone. They were all gone. That was the last one. Last of where I came from. And that sort of, it did a number on my brain. And I kept thinking, I'm alone. I'm not alone, and I've got, besides having an amazing family, I have the best friends ever that would do anything for me. And we tell each other we love each other. I'm blessed. I know this. But I felt alone. Lost in that. But what happened was, when this started, the day before my brother actually passed, the day before he passed away would have been my parents' anniversary had they stayed married. And they never, ever, when they visit me, never come together because they divorced, and they just never come together. My mom comes or my dad comes, but they don't ever come together. And the morning, which that was the 16th, the day before Michael passed, and that was my parents, would have been their anniversary. I had been woken up super early in the morning. It was dark still, and the hospital had called me, and I wasn't getting a lot of sleep as it was because, my brain was just, so much going on. So I had answered the phone call, and then I had tried to go back to sleep. And then I was woken up by a bird that was so loud it woke me up out of a dead sleep, almost irritating. And I got up out of bed and I looked out my window, and there was a cardinal right out my window looking directly at me, singing. And it was singing its song. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Right on. I got a cardinal. That's always a spirit for me, you know. And then that night, my parents came together. And if you're of the digital age and you grew up in that, then you won't know what I'm talking about. But when I see them, when I see anybody, any spirit around me, I don't see them as a living person because they're not flesh anymore. But it's almost like seeing like a negative. And anybody who remembers cameras where there was actually film, you know what a negative is. And so that's how they came. And which I thought was odd. But then that's when I knew for sure that Michael wasn't going to make it. And then the next morning, another cardinal woke me up the same way. 3 mornings in a row. It happened like that outside my window. The day that Michael passed, my daughter was in Waikiki, and she was going to her car, and a butterfly flew right into her face, hit her in the face, at the same time that Michael passed. That day, his ex in Idaho, their TV just glitched out. And since then, my son's TV has glitched out. The day before I arrived over there, his phone, he got some random calls on his phone. I can't remember exactly what his girlfriend told me about that. But electronic stuff. So I thought that was interesting. But I have heard somebody use the term Archangel Michael. Now, we never called my brother Mike. I know he had friends that called him Mike, but the family never ever called him Mike. We always called him Michael. Always. And I have heard Archangel Michael probably 15 times since he passed away. And it started the day that he passed. And even my cousin Gigi, who lives in California, somebody came up to her and said, oh yeah, my name is Mike, like Michael, like the Archangel Michael. And I thought, oh my God, okay, cool, brother, I know you're here. Also, I see cardinals all the time, every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And I have smelled my mom a couple of times. I've smelled the limu. I've smelled dial soap. And I know it's dial. I can tell you exactly what each soap smells like. And I remember this back from years and years of different kinds of soap that people used. And my dad, smelling sawdust. I have had butterfly fly right up into me and circle around me. We have a slider, like a dimmer, on our light in our master bedroom. And I was in there the other night, and I was going to take a shower, and so it has this funny thing to it. So you got to slide it up almost to the top, and that's where it's steady. So I'd slid it up to that top, and I'd gone over to the side of the bed, and then the light went off. And so I knew it was Michael right away. I was like, okay, brother, so what's up? I know you're here. And then Kevin comes in, and he says, you know, you got to put this thing up here. And I said, I know where to put it. I said, that's where I put it. He said, No, it was slid all the way down. I said, that's Michael. I didn't do it. That's Michael. So stuff just keeps happening. But one of the coolest things is Michael couldn't do anything. Um, he could barely move to even get to the bathroom. He couldn't go anywhere. He was kind of became almost a shut-in. Um, people would pick up groceries and had visiting nurses and things like that. So he wasn't able to do all these things for a really long time, years. And there were so many things that he wanted to do still. And we used to talk about all these things that we used to do. And then I guess it was 3 days after he passed away, I was sitting up on my porch and I heard the cardinal. And I looked and I watched this cardinal and it flew around by the trees. And then it went up to the very top branch of an ironwood tree. That's one of the things that I love about living here is we have ironwood trees. And ironwood trees are all over Kailua Beach. And they always have been since we were growing up. And so an ironwood tree for me is truly home. It's Kailua. And it's all the familiar things. And I watched this red cardinal fly up to the very top of this ironwood tree. And the top of an ironwood tree is really just wispy because they've just got these really fine needles. And this cardinal was up at the top of this tree and the wind was blowing and it held on and it went way over to one side. And then the wind would switch and it'd go way over to the other side. And this cardinal was just riding it, just riding the wind and at the very top of this thing, and it never let go. And I swear I heard, yee, like somebody on a carnival ride. And I thought, it's Michael. It's Michael. And he can finally be free. And he can finally do what he wants. And because of all these visits, I thought, thinking that I'm alone. I'm not alone. None of us are alone. Even if our loved ones or our friends or whoever have passed, they're with us. They're always with us. And I don't know. I just want people to be able to recognize it. And then, I guess celebrate that even if they're not right here with us anymore here in this world, we're all connected. They're still around. We're still together. It's almost like it's an illusion, right? Being here in this world. It's like the things that we see, the things we think we know here. It's almost an illusion to what's actually happening. So, I think about my brother on the top of that tree as a cardinal all the time because I know he's happy. And he's with everybody. Everybody who's passed away. He's with them. And that's good. He needed to be with them. And I'm good. I'm so good. I'm with people I love and who love me. So That's the better part of what has happened. So I thank you for watching. Send you all lots of love. Aloha.